the Nonprofit Podcast, powered by DonorBucks.
Have you ever stopped to think about the real changemakers in our nonprofit world? You know, those individuals who can't just sit back when the status quo falls short for the causes they care about. The ones who, often standing alone at first, challenge us to rethink and reshape our approach to positive social change. Now, wouldn't you want at least one of them in your nonprofit? I know I would. Welcome to the Nonprofit Podcast. I'm Jena, nonprofit advocate here at DonorBucks. We are here each week with practical actions you can use today to increase donations and take your nonprofit to the next level tomorrow. Today, we're diving into the heart of what it means to be a change maker in the nonprofit sector. These aren't just leaders, they're visionaries who show us that with a bit of grit and a lot of heart, we can turn the tides of any challenge. So if you've ever wondered whether your organization could benefit from a change maker, or perhaps pondered how you could be that very force for change, stick around. This episode is for you. In the world of nonprofits, changemakers are a unique breed. They're the ones who see beyond the surface, identifying not just the symptoms of societal issues, but their root causes. But what really sets a changemaker apart? Is it their unyielding passion, their innovative mindset, or perhaps their ability to rally communities toward a common goal? At their core, and there are days where I would give anything for this ability, changemakers possess a deep-seated belief that change is not just possible, it's very often necessary. They are not deterred by setbacks. Instead, they view them as opportunities to learn and grow. Their toolkit, a blend of empathy, creativity, critical thinking, enhanced by the courage to push boundaries and challenge conventional wisdom. What we're talking about is someone who approaches every problem with a what-if mindset, someone who's driven not just by the prospect of personal gain, but by the potential to make a lasting difference. That's the essence of a change maker. And in the tapestry of nonprofit work, their contributions are the threads that weave together a stronger, more resilient community fabric. Let me share a moment during the pandemic when I was working as a volunteer manager at a domestic violence shelter. We relied heavily on our volunteers to provide support to those in need through several different programs. However, as the pandemic unfolded, I learned that we could no longer bring volunteers on site, which left us in a really tough spot. And after communicating the news to all of our volunteers via email, Angela, a dedicated volunteer of the organization for, I think, 10 years or more, reached out to me. Angela said, "No, this is not right. This is not acceptable. What can we do?" And took it upon herself to work with our staff to start organizing virtual programs for our families in the shelter. Virtual support groups, tutoring, story times, yoga classes, cooking classes, you name it, she thought of it. And she really became an anchor during that time and offered emotional support, creating such a sense of community during a time when these sweet families had limited in-person connections. And these programs paved the way for new and inclusive forms of support that extended far beyond the confines of physical spaces and far past the pandemic. During that time, Angela totally embodied that what-if mindset. She didn't dwell on the restrictions or the challenges. Instead, she relentlessly explored and pursued new avenues to make a difference. I find myself thinking about that often. She really is a change maker, whether or not she knows it. Transforming an organization is a huge task. It's one thing to have a vision for change, but it's another to act on it, to breathe new life into ideas that challenge the status quo and steer us toward uncharted territories of opportunity and growth. I think of it like this. A single change maker within a nonprofit can be the catalyst for a wave of innovation, transforming not just internal processes, but the very way we engage with our communities and our stakeholders. They bring fresh perspectives that can unlock new avenues for funding, volunteer engagement, and community impact. But it's more than that. It is so much more than that. They bring with them a contagious, positive energy, sparking a culture where making change happen isn't just a catchphrase, it's a reality. It's this attitude that becomes a driving force that propels the organization forward, turning challenges into opportunities and inspiring others to join the journey. and their influence extends beyond immediate projects. Changemakers inspire a culture of continuous improvement and bold thinking among their peers, setting a new standard for what's possible. And their legacy is a more agile, resilient organization better equipped to face the challenges of tomorrow. Two of the most extraordinary and inspiring changemakers that immediately come to mind for me are Sixto Cancel, founder and CEO of Think of Us. And we've got him on episode 28 of the Nonprofit Podcast. Go take a listen to that. And Kat Calvin, founder and CEO of Spread the Vote. And we've got her on episode 26. Beyond transforming his organization's systems, Sixto stands out for his commitment to catalyzing sector-wide systemic change. His unique approach involved amplifying the direct voices of foster care beneficiaries. And through foster programs, he ensures that their voices play a big role in shaping how the entire system supports them. And Kat's fearless leadership just burst through. Listening to her episode reveals a journey marked by courage. Kat openly shares that she and her team initially underestimated the challenges that they were diving into. While providing identification services may seem straightforward, Kat discovered the complexities that deterred others. And despite these challenges, Kat's fearless approach and unwavering commitment really prevailed. She addressed the needs of some of the most vulnerable in our society who require IDs beyond the privilege of voting. Both Sixto and Kat exemplify the essence of changemakers. Whether it's reforming foster care systems or providing essential IDs, these leaders showcase the courage needed to challenge and fundamentally change entrenched systems from the ground up. One of our very informed blog writers recently wrote on this topic for DonorBox's nonprofit blog, which is what got me thinking about why the changemaker type has so much to offer us when we're strategizing for the year. And as she points out, no matter where you put them, they will change your culture. So take a moment, consider what needs shaking up in your organization around these delivery areas, and tell me that fresh new thinking wouldn't get you to new levels of reach and that all-important impact. Someone to connect you with new groups and communities, offer unique expertise, create tools and programs, donate and fundraise, right? Forward-thinking changemakers are so important to the evolution and impact of nonprofit organizations. These individuals, such as Nobel Peace Prize winner Malala, possesses a visionary mindset and an unyielding commitment to social change. Their importance lies in their ability to innovate, inspire, and drive significant transformations within communities and across the globe. When we dive deeper into the role of changemakers in the nonprofit sector, the benefits are so obvious. So how can your organization not only attract, but also retain these passionate individuals? Changemakers come from diverse backgrounds and demographics, each bringing unique perspectives and dedication to your cause. Their potential to become advocates and significant donors for your organization is big. And the rise of changemakers, especially among youth, reflects a growing desire to contribute meaningfully to societal change. Nonprofits stand to gain by tapping into this enthusiasm and integrating these young supporters into their strategic objectives. And they don't have to be at the top of the hierarchy either. Change comes from everywhere. It comes from everywhere. They could be staff members, volunteers, board members, donors, or even event speakers, entertainers. Powerful changemakers who volunteer with your organization can be some of the most dedicated advocates for your cause and turn into your biggest donors. So firstly, it's important to focus on people, not just your mission. A staggering 91.6% of young changemakers emphasize the importance of visibility, recognition, and legitimacy for their work. To achieve this, your organization should ensure job descriptions highlight changemaker attributes. Actively seek board members who not only share your mission's passion, but also possess the skills to drive it forward. It's equally important to dismantle any internal hierarchies, paving the way for every staff member to make a tangible impact. Secondly, providing personal and professional development opportunities can significantly enhance your team's effectiveness. Third point, prioritizing well-being is non-negotiable. With 70% of young changemakers citing personal financial instability as a barrier to involvement, and 46% highlighting the high risk of burnout, Your nonprofit must take a proactive step to address these concerns. Respect for time, equal access to resources and knowledge, vigilant monitoring for burnout signs, fostering open dialogues between board members and staff, and ensuring adequate compensation are all really good strategies for this. As we wrap up today's exploration of changemakers, it's evident that they are not just participants in the nonprofit sector, they are the catalysts propelling us forward. Their unique blend of passion, innovation, and dedication reshapes the landscape of societal change, making them invaluable assets to any organization. As you move forward, here's your practical action. If you're seeking the transformative touch of a changemaker, pinpoint an aspect in your organization that could use a fresh perspective. Reach out beyond your usual network, inviting a local professional or a peer to share their insights or join a brief brainstorming session, whether that's in person or via Zoom. An external viewpoint can really be the catalyst for that transformative change. And if you embody the changemaker spirit, connect with nonprofits in your community, attend local events, or join virtual gatherings, seek opportunities to share your expertise or propose collaborative ventures. Building bridges expands your sphere of influence and attracts like-minded individuals. This journey may be challenging, but the rewards are boundless. Move forward with confidence, embracing changemakers into your fold, and cultivating a space that not only attracts, but also supports and celebrates them. This sets the stage for a future where your organization is not just surviving, but thriving, driven by the boundless energy and innovative spirit of those who dare to believe in change. Thank you for joining me on the Nonprofit Podcast. I hope that this reflection on people who have opened up new paths has inspired you as much as it's inspired me, and that together we will embrace the spirit of change and take our organizations to new heights. And I hope you've left with the confidence to take a small step today that will make a big difference tomorrow. Be sure to click the download button on your podcast player, then leave the Nonprofit Podcast a review, or give it a thumbs up if you're listening to the Nonprofit Podcast on YouTube. Your review is a great way to help others find us. You're here to help others. We're here to help you. Until next time, stay inspired.
That warm feeling when you help someone, it's not just happiness, it's fulfillment. And we believe it should be available to everyone, from frontline heroes to first-time fundraisers. Our tools empower you to help others. This is our mission. This is DonorBox, helping you help others.